In Creo Parametric 13, there is an enhancement for multi-body modeling that allows you to create parts from your bodies into a target assembly that already exists. And this is great because it reflects the real world workflows that you are going to use on the job. And there's a lot to unpack here, so we're going to go through it. Let me start out by orienting you to the model that I'm going to use in this demonstration. Here I am in a part model. It's got multiple bodies, and 5 of the bodies currently have geometry. Later on, I will put geometry into the 6th body. And this is a regular part model. I'm using it as a master model, but this very well could be a skeleton model if you want. And so when multi-body modeling first came out, you had the ability to create parts from your bodies. For example, let me select the first part. You could right mouse click and hold, and here's the command to create part from body. This command obviously is still there. But later on, a command was added to create assembly from bodies. And that command is essentially still here. The name has changed and more functionality has been added. And that's what we're talking about in this video. The command is now called assembly from bodies. And let me go back to selecting the 5 components with the bodies. I'm going to hold down the shift key to select this one because I can use an inclusive list. I'm going to hold down the right mouse button, and here is the assembly from bodies command. And when I click on it, here we have the assembly from bodies dialog box. The option that you had before was to create a brand new assembly. Let's just take a look at that just to remind you of it, or maybe show you how to use in case you've never used it before. But anyhow, I'm going to create a brand new assembly. Here's where you can specify a file name and a common name. There's an option to use a default template. I will just click the OK button. Here we have the assembly created. Let's take a look at our model tree. We have 5 different parts, and the parts use the same names as the different bodies. Let me expand the folder, or excuse me, the individual part, and we have our different default datums that come over from the template. And here is the external copy geometry feature that brings in the geometry from the body in the multi-body part into the target part in the new assembly. All right, so that's good. Let me close this, and I'm going to erase memory so I don't get any name conflicts with future steps. And here is an assembly that already exists, and it has a part for the dashboard. And so let's bring those different steering column components into this assembly. Let me go back to the part model, the master model, and here we have our different bodies. Now I'm going to select the 5 bodies that have geometry, and then right mouse click and hold. Let's choose assembly from bodies. And this time I'm going to change to an existing assembly. You'll notice that there's a little blue triangle next to the word existing, indicating that this is new functionality in Creo Parametric 13. And the dialog box changes, and now we have the ability to select the assembly that's going to receive these parts. I will use the open button. I will grab that assembly from my folder, and that is good. If you click on the advanced button, well, this shows you the different parts that will end up being created. And you do have the option to change the file name if you don't want them to have the same name as the body. But let's just click the OK button. And so now here we are in that assembly that has the dashboard. You'll notice that those different components for the steering column are in the wrong location because they were placed using the default constraint. If I expand one of the parts that was created and expand the placement folder, here we have the default constraint. You can always select the component and then use edit definition and get rid of the default constraint if you want to use something else instead, and then put in different constraints. But I'm just going to hit the check mark. I just wanted to show you that, okay, if you choose an existing assembly, they're going to be placed in there using the default constraint. Okay, so let me go back. I'm going to close this assembly window and I'm going to erase memory just to avoid naming conflicts later on. All right, so let's see. Now I am in a different assembly, and this assembly contains the master model. And one thing I want to point out, let me turn on my coordinate system display. I have my master model placed using something other than the default constraint. Here's the default coordinate system for the master model, the multi-body part. Here is the assembly default coordinate system. It's in a different place. I can even expand the placement folder to show you that we have some constraints involving an axis and a couple of different planes. But anyhow, what I want to do is I want to create parts from this multi-body part, but I'm going to create it in this assembly. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to create it in a sub-assembly. Let me expand the sub-assembly. Right now, this sub-assembly is empty, but I want the sub-assembly in this top-level assembly to get the parts from my multi-body part. All right, that's a mouthful. Okay, let me expand design items. Let me expand the bodies folder. Let me select those 5 different bodies that currently have geometry. Right mouse click and hold. And let's choose assembly from bodies like before. And then I'll change to existing. And watch what happens when I do this. When I change to existing. All right, it automatically populates the field here with the name of the top level assembly. By default, it wants to create these new parts at the top level assembly. But instead, you can place them into a sub-assembly. Let me choose the sub-assembly, and you'll see the name has updated in here. And also there's this option here for an associative placement. And it tells us that, I'm just going to read the tooltip, the new parts will be placed with respect to the source part position. When the source part component placement is modified, the new parts will associatively follow it. This option is only relevant when the target assembly is selected from the model tree. So there's a lot of important information there. What it means is that if I ever change my location of this part here, then the parts that are created are going to update. But again, that only works when I pick this subassembly out of the model tree. It doesn't work if I was to use the open button in order to select the subassembly. So again, something to take into consideration. Once again, let's go to the advanced button. I just want to show you here are the 5 different parts that are created. Here is where you can change the file name. There's also the ability to use a template or a prefix or a suffix to generate new names automatically. And here are options for default template, use source part properties, or to select a template part to use instead of the default template. All right, this is good. Let's click the OK button. All right, and everything looks the same, but let me collapse the master model. Here we have the subassembly, and here we have the individual parts. And you can see that they are on top of the original model. As a matter of fact, if I select this, I can hide it, and we still see all the individual parts that were created. Let me turn off my coordinate system display. All right, let's go back to let's hide the subassembly. Let's bring back the display of the master model. And let's take a look at our bodies. Here we have this body. It is currently empty. Well, let's simulate some more design work happening. I'm going to select a bunch of different suppressed features here. And then, oops, let me activate. Let's select the master model and then choose activate. And then let me try resuming these features. And here we have from the mini toolbar the resume command. And it brought back a bunch of different features. If I scroll back up here, well, we have features located in our wheel rim part, or tire or steering wheel rim part. So now, let's say that I've done some work. Now I want to generate a part for this into the subassembly. So let me select the part and then I'll choose assembly from bodies and let's choose existing. And again, I want to choose the subassembly and I want to choose it from the model tree. I don't want to use the open button in order to do that. Once again, I'm going to use associative placement. If we go to the advanced button, you'll see that this time we're only generating one part in this situation. Let's click the OK button. And let me bring back the display of the subassembly. And again, it looks exactly the same. Let me hide the master model. Looks exactly the same. Let me open up the subassembly in its own separate window. And again, we can see that we have our various different components. And if I expand, we see that we have the features that came over from our default template, the default datum planes and default coordinate system, and our external copy geometry feature. So there you have it. I know that was quite a lot, but now in Creo Parametric 13, you have the ability to create parts from your body into an assembly that already exists. And again, this is much more in line with your workflows that you are probably already using.